very warm welcome to Happy Hands Knitting Podcast. My name is Nadine, and I am a Montrealer who normally would be coming to you from northern New South Wales in Australia, where I've lived for the past 12 years. However, my two daughters and I are on vacation, and we are visiting my mom in Calgary, Alberta. So here we are in a winter wonderland. We went from about 35 degrees Celsius to not too bad. I think the coldest we've had is minus 14. And today I think it is 2 degrees, which is amazing. Not as much snow as we would have liked, but we did get to go to beautiful Lake Louise and Banff. So I don't think I'm going to share those videos clips this time. I think I'm going to save it for next time because I actually have so much knitting to talk about today. Okay, so to start with what I'm wearing, this is actually not mine. This is something that I had made for my mom. That's why the sleeves are a little bit short because my mom is petite. She's 5'2". I think she's about 2 inches shorter than I am. And this is, of course, the Soldotna by Caitlin Hunter. I used yarn from, sorry if I'm looking at the screen, I normally have my camera flipped the other way, but I don't have my normal setup with my stand, so I'm actually looking at myself talking, which is very weird. But anyways, I used yarn from Nundle Woollen Mill. That's an Australian mill, and it was, I believe it's DK, and it was just 100% merino, and I dyed it. So I dyed it using food coloring. And what else? I also made it long sleeve. So I just did a repeat of, I guess, this pattern, which is also on the bottom. I'm pretty sure that's meant to be there. And I just copied that for the sleeve. And oh yeah, I decided I really like things to be kind of mirror image, and it kind of bothered me at the time that all these arrows were going in one direction. I think I've seen another sweater where there's arrows going in one direction, and I kind of like that, but I don't know, I didn't like that they were only going in one direction in this particular top. So I decided when I got halfway, I was going to do a mirror image and have the arrows going in the opposite direction. And then I just went and did duplicate stitch over the center because it looked a little bit messy in the middle, and just made a little diamond there. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Soldotna crop by Caitlin Hunter, who is Boylan Knits. Boylan Knits? I think that's what it's called. Still drinking my kombucha. Not my kombucha, we had to buy kombucha. But all good. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing everything that I knit for Christmas presents this year. Yeah, the only thing I don't have with me is what I had made for my husband, which I think I showed last week, which is his socks. I may not have shown them finished, but that'll have to wait until we're back in Australia because that's where those socks are. Okay, I'm just briefly going to show these because I had already talked about it in previous videos. These are from my mom, so they are mittens. And I knit these in Heirloom Cozy Comfort, which is a mixture of alpaca and silk. So yeah, if you want to see the details on what I did for these, you can go back and watch my previous videos because I kind of used a pattern but changed it in a few different ways. So yeah, that's for my mom. And then I made her a matching hat. And again, if you want to see the details for this, you can look at a previous video because I've already spoken about these. I think this is the color grape. Oh, it'll look so cute with this sweater too. These are, my mom and I had the same coloring. We're both, yeah, both very pale. Blue eyes and blonde hair, and kind of like a winter palette. Okay, so those are for my mom. For my brother, I've also spoken about this pattern before. And to be honest though, I actually re-knit this because I thought it was going to be too small. So for this hat and for a few other things that I made, I went stash diving, and I had this Bendigo Woolen Mill 12 ply Rustic and 12 ply, which to me should be a bulky weight. So I tried to knit this hat, which is a bulky weight pattern. It is called the Midvale hat by Gagnon Osborne, and it's a free pattern. I've got another one coming from the same designer, but I guess it's not really a true bulky weight because it was way too small. So what I did was I undid the whole thing. I debated just adding a little bit, like going and adding, although it's bottom up, I would debate just, picking up stitches here and then making the brim longer, but I decided just to redo the whole thing. It's bulky 12 ply, it didn't really take very long. So I ripped it out, and I think I added a repeat of the cables. That's what I did. So I just cast on a few more stitches, and then I had one more repeat, and I think I knitted the brim longer just to compensate for my yarn being smaller. And yeah, much more pleased. I guess now that I can see myself, I'm happy to try on things. So yeah, that's it. So it's a very cabled hat, but I did choose this dark yarn, so the cables are not very obvious, but you can still see them, and it just gives just a little bit of something to the hat. So yeah, that is for my brother. So by the same designer, for my nephew, so for his son, I did, so also by Gagnon Osborne. This one is called the Wister hat. And so I did the same thing because it's also a 12 ply, it's also a free pattern. I think I added maybe 8 stitches to the cast on, knit that bit a little bit longer, and then just follow the pattern. And it's really cool. There may be a little bit of a kind of a cable involved in creating these diagonal lines, but it was really fun. And that's, yeah, what the top looks like. So I'll try that one on. And yeah, it's really kind of cute. So yeah, they live here in Calgary, so they're going to be very pleased to have these nice warm hats on cold days. We're really lucky that I think it's not going to be cold the whole time we're here, but last time we were here 2 years ago, it was -47 one day, or feels like, with the wind chill. So definitely those are going to be great on days like that. Okay, moving on. For my mom's friend, I'll stick to this because it's still knit in the same yarn. So my mom's friend, I knit him these mittens. So these are the free pattern by Tin Can Knits, I think called the World's Simplest Mittens. If that's not right, I'll put it up there. And I knit them in the same yarn, which is the Bendigo Woollen Mills Rustic 12 ply. And again, I tried to follow the bulky pattern, but again, because this yarn I feel is not quite bulky, it's maybe in between Aran and bulky, or maybe even Aran, I'm not sure, but I've tried to follow along with the bulky pattern, and then I realized they were going to be too small, so I guess I cast on a few more stitches. I've been knitting so many gifts, so it's really hard to remember all the little details now. I think I finished these on the plane on the way here, but yeah, this is a great pattern. It's by Tin Can Knits, as I said, and it's free, and it's basically just a basic mitten pattern, and you can knit it in fingering, DK, worsted, and Aran, and they have all the information for using different yarns, and it's just, but it's not complicated. Like, it's all on like 2 or 3 pages, and it's very, very easy to follow, and like they're called the World's Simplest Mittens. Yeah, so maybe I'll try one on to show you. I tried to make it, yeah, big for me because it's for a man, and yeah, they're gonna be nice and toasty as well for a cold day here in Calgary. Okay, for my sister-in-law. I knit these mittens. You can kind of see a theme that I was going for winter accessories. I think they're a great gift idea because they're, they don't take too long to make and not too much yarn. So yeah, perfect. Okay, so for my sister-in-law, these are called the Chelsea Mittens, and they are by Sasha Macievich. Sorry for the pronunciation. I feel like that might be a Russian name. And I knit these in Heirloom Alpaca. I feel like this was also a free pattern, and it's just beautiful. I love it. I did block these to kind of open it up, but again, I just, as per my usual, I just wet them and left them to dry flat. I didn't stretch them out. Maybe if I walk past, I would just kind of go like that to make sure that flattened, but these are so nice. These are knit in Heirloom Alpaca. So it's just the alpaca and so soft. Same as the Cozy Comfort. This yarn is amazing. It's Australian and very reasonably priced. I feel like they even have it at Spotlight, believe it or not. So that's them. Yeah, and they are a little bit big, but my sister-in-law is Japanese and she finds it extremely cold here. So she loves nothing more than to put one of those little hot packs inside her mittens. And yeah, there's going to be space for her to do that. So I think those are going to be perfect for her. Okay, again in that same yarn for my niece, I knit one of these headbands. So this one is called, sorry if I'm looking down, I have my notes here. The Clay Headband by Mirella Moments. And again, it's a free pattern. Gotta love a free pattern when you're, making all this stuff for other people. So she has actually quite a few headband patterns and I believe they're all free. And I know that my niece, so she's also lives here in Calgary. She is 12 or 13 and she really loves wearing headbands. So yeah, I've never done this construction before. This was really cool. You actually knit it flat and then you just do this. I wonder if I can show you on this end. You just fold it in half and then it's hard to show because they're not flat. Let's see, I'll try with this. So you fold it in half and then when you bring it together, you kind of pinch them over each other. That's a terrible way of showing, but like that. And then you sew it together and then it just makes this really cool knot. Yeah, that's the inside where I sewed it. Anyways, the instructions are free and they're all there for you to look at. And it's kind of a very cool cable pattern where you're doing an I-cord on the end and it's just the very easy version where you slip the last 3 stitches with the yarn in front, and then on the next row you knit, which creates that I-cord. And then here I think in the first row you're doing 2 cables, a very easy one, just cross over. I didn't use any cable needle for any of my projects. You just cross over and then 1 row knit or purl because you're going back, and then on this one there's only 1 cable and then 1 row plain and then another row cable with just 1 cable, and then you just repeat those 6 rows and it creates this really beautiful pattern. And yeah, again, that's in that same yarn, Heirloom Alpaca, and it's very, very snuggly and soft. So I think that she's gonna love that, I hope. Okay, the next one is a little bit crazy. Okay, prepare yourself. Do you ever find yourself knitting something for someone and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what they want, really? I hope they're gonna like it. No offense to the lady that designed this, but okay, ready? It looks like a scuba mask. This is a balaclava. Okay, I guess you probably saw it in my in the introduction, but this is for my daughter. She really wanted it, and the designer is, let me look. So she saw it on Instagram, and it's Belinalilly, and she calls it her crochet baklava. My mom keeps calling it a baklava. Now I am balaclava, not baklava. So this is the crochet balaclava, and it's available on YouTube. She just gives a tutorial on how to make it, and yeah, here it is. So she chose the colors. I tried to make it mostly out of scraps, but she really wanted a pale yellow. Let me tell you, pale yellow is not really an easy color to find. We all know that us knitters love that mustard yellow, but finding a pale yellow was not easy. So we did make a quick trip. I'm definitely going to be going back, but my mom said, because I needed the yarn for this for Christmas, I could have 30 minutes maximum at Stash Lounge in Calgary, which is a local yarn store here. And so I ran in with the girls, and then she found this, and it is Baracco Lanas, 100% wool, and All the rest I used scrap, so I'm not sure. There's actually some sock yarn in here, which sometimes I held double, sometimes I held it single. Like with itself, but everything I held with a mohair. Or actually the yellow is held with a mohair, which was a mohair boucle that I had left over from a Waldorf doll. And then everything, all the other colors, I held with a gray, I want to say it's a really beautiful yarn that I got last year. I made my mother mittens in it. I'll show you next time, but I'm pretty sure it's like a silk yak, alpaca maybe, or mohair maybe, but it's really beautifully soft. And I bought that on Facebook, I believe, Marketplace, but yeah, anyways, so that's to say everything is very floofy and soft, and I've never really done crochet with mohair, but it's actually quite nice. And the lady in the tutorial suggests that you do that, but I think she held with cotton. Hers is cotton held with a mohair. So I just kind of thought, I don't think the whole point of a balaclava is to wear when it's really cold. So I thought, I'm not going to use cotton, I'll use wool. And I'll let you know if she ends up wearing it. She loves it. She's tried it on. It's one of those patterns where it's better to kind of try it as you go. Like she'll say crochet to here, and then you knit in the round to here, and then you knit back and forth to do the hole, and then you join it back in the round, and then you're decreasing a little bit around the neck, so you can see that shaping. And yeah, I have been crocheting since I was 8 years old, but it's not something that I do a lot, and certainly not really garments. But yeah, so if you look from the back, it's not perfect where I did the changing the colors and all that, but that's at the back. So and my daughter didn't even notice really. And her version in the video is very scrappy anyways. So what else do I have to say about it? Should I try it on? Okay, I'm gonna try it on. Oh my God. So you can wear it like this, or you can put it down. Anyways, oh my gosh, now my hair is gonna be so staticky. I forgot to mention, so we just came from northern New South Wales, Australia, where it's so humid, and Calgary, as you may or may not know, just like Edmonton, is so dry. We're on the other side of the Rockies, and in Vancouver, on that side, it rains all the time, but none of the moisture really gets over the Rockies, so it's crazy dry here. My lips, my skin, everything is so dry. My hair is like straight, where back home it's normally quite curly, but yeah, the static is hilarious, as is this. Me wearing this, at least. Yeah, she's younger, she can get away with a bit more, but anyways, there it is. Do I have anything else to say about this? Let me have a think. I think that's really all there is to say. Yeah, styles today. Yep, I just hope she wears it. It didn't take too long. I think I finished it in like 2 or 3 days, but oh, that was the last thing. The lady in the video, like I said, she held cotton with mohair, and she did use a smaller crochet hook than I did, but I feel like her yarn must have been way thicker because I had to do way more rounds to get it to be the right size. And then I think, like for example, this bit, she cast on 16, I had to cast on 24, so mine took a lot longer than it should have, I guess, if I would have used thicker yarn, but you do the best you can. Okay. Okay, well that's it for finished objects. Now I'm really gonna try to finish this for my other daughter. I'm not sure if I'll get it done. Now, it's not, the light's changing a little bit. Oh, it's reflecting off that building. My mom lives in the city. Oh, I hope that's okay. I hope the lighting's all right. Anyways, so my eldest daughter, I didn't forget about her or leave it to last minute. It was her who last minute said that she wanted something. So she showed me a photo on Pinterest, and I don't think it was a pattern, for like a hood, all the hoods that are kind of trending at the moment. Not quite a balaclava, but a hood that went into a scarf that wraps around. And so I was like, okay, but I didn't really feel like I could, like the one she showed me, I don't think was a hand knit item, and it was done in stockinette. And I just feel like scarves in general, stockinette, we all know they roll. So I kind of tried to start, I was gonna start by making I've got it written down, the free pattern by Pearl Soho, just called the hood scarf. I think that's what it's called. And it is that, it's a hood and a scarf, and it was knit in ribbing. And she said, oh no, I don't want it in ribbing. So I said, okay. So I tried to start making it, I did a little bit of garter, and then I started and kept garter on the sides, and then did the middle in stockinette, but it was still rolling after I got a little bit of the way. Like I probably knit that much, because you start with the scarf, and then you do a hood, and then you end with a scarf. So I done about that much, and it was rolling, and we both kind of went, no, not really. So then I was looking and looking, and then I saw, which I had favored a while ago, which is the Josie hood by Norgard Knitters, and I loved it. It's such a beautiful pattern. However, it is 14 something Australian dollars for the pattern, and I'd already bought this yarn, and it's not the same weight as what she used. And to be honest, I love trying to copycat a pattern. I love looking at a pattern and trying to work it out, like how it was made and constructed, and then trying to make it myself. So I decided, okay, let's do that, because yeah, I didn't have the right yarn anyways. So here's my try. So I'm only this far in. It's really hard to tell, but it's a really beautiful hood. Okay, wow, I'm really embarrassing myself today, but I'm gonna put this on, and it's just funny because they have these sticking out, but it's a hood, and it's gonna come down here and get longer and longer and longer. And I'll show the photo. Hers doesn't turn into a scarf, but kind of gets narrower and narrower, and then goes into I-cord, and you wrap it around twice, and then you just tie a little bow with the I-cord. Oh, this is really weird with the blinds on my face. Hold on. I can't access the thing to change the blinds because it's behind the Christmas tree. I'm almost done, so just bear with me. Okay, so where was I? All right, so you wrap it around twice, and then you tie with the I-cords. She's not a big fan of the I-cord. However, I was knitting this last night, and I was looking on YouTube, and I saw aka Nora Knits, which I've never really seen her show her YouTube episodes before, but she had a photo of the same thing that I was knitting, so I clicked on it, and yeah, I quite enjoyed her podcast. And yeah, so she was making it, and she also made it out of DK weight because she used fingering and held it with a mohair. And I was looking at hers, and my daughter walked by, and she was looking, and she goes, oh yeah, maybe I do like it. So maybe we will do that. Or I thought, when it comes down to here, I can knit it as a scarf. Or I thought, instead of the I-cord, I can make a button. That way it can wrap around her neck, and then we'll do like a giant button here, or a toggle, and that can be pretty cute as well. And I don't know if I said, this is the same yarn that I used in here for the yellow. This is Baracco Lannis, and I also bought it at Stash Lounge. And originally I wanted to buy her this beautiful wool alpaca mix from Estelle that they had, and I had it in my hand, but she didn't like that. It had like specks of light colors in it, which she didn't like. She wanted it to be really dark. So we went and found this yarn. And also the other one was black, and I think she decided she wanted navy blue. So yeah, I didn't hold it with mohair or anything, so it's not that beautiful, fabric that the original is in, but I think that she will like this. And what I really like about the hood is that you can, pop it down, and it looks kind of cool around over your jacket. It looks like you're wearing a hoodie. So I think she's really gonna like that. So I think that's all I have to say about that. Oh, no, right. So as I was watching aka Nora Knits, she was showing more up close, and I was like, oh, I didn't really, I don't know if I really did it right, but I'm just winging it, and it'll make a hood shape, so it'll work. And yeah, I made a few modifications to what looks like what I think the pattern is, but anyways, hopefully it will all work out. And if it does, if it looks terrible at the end, I will buy the pattern, get different yarn, and then try again. Okay, oh, the last thing is I wanted to make my mom that's her Christmas tree. She lives in an apartment, so she has a very narrow, tall Christmas tree. But I thought I would make her a little Christmas tree ornament. And there is one called the Merry Mini Tree by Traveling Knits, which is a free pattern. And because I've been knitting so much since I got here and on the plane, I have a whole bunch of ends left. So I think I'm gonna knit, I'm gonna use the leftover yarn from the things that I made for my niece and my sister-in-law. So this is the Heirloom Alpaca. And yeah, I have a whole bunch of ends that I can stuff it with. And yeah, I think I'm gonna make that for my mom. Hopefully that's not gonna take too long because Christmas is in 2 days or something like that. What are we, the 20? Yeah, 2 days till Christmas. So, you know, no minute like the last minute, I always say. And yeah, I think that is all I have to say for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a lovely holiday season, no matter what holiday you celebrate, or if you celebrate no season. I hope you're having happy winter or summer. Let's see, 2 days ago was midwinter here and midsummer back in Australia. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I promise I'm going to show some beautiful footage of our time at Lake Louise and Banff, and so stay tuned next time. Thank you so much again. Bye.